What's up? Ted here from Geek, and we're back for another Google Ads Agency Roundtable. I am with Nick, Mark, Dustin. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
How we doing?
I didn't realize you were recording all these, eh?
Oh, yeah. I record them all. All right, so before we went live, we started talking like we always do. None of this is pre-planned. We just hop on, figure out what we want to talk about, we go live. So what we were talking about before is, as an agency owner, we will, if you haven't already heard this from a client, at some point they will tell you that your leads suck. These leads suck. Where did you get these leads from? I can't close any of these, blah, 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 blah. So when I hear that, typically means, yeah, there is a situation where the lead could potentially suck. It could be out of area. It could be any number of things. But even a broken clock is right twice a day. So if you get that customer 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 leads, something should be closing into a deal. And if they're not closing anything, where there's smoke, there's fire. There's usually a sales issue. So let's go around the horn. I'm going to start with Nick because I think his answer is going to be the most pungent. Nick, talk to me about when someone said these leads suck. What does that mean to you? What's your response to them? Walk me through your side of the conversation.
So we don't take anything personal here at Driven Leads. We get this comment more than probably most people in America do. Working with real estate agents, our clients literally have to close 1 or 2 deals per 100 leads to make a massive profit. So when we're working with people and they come to us and say these leads suck, if it's just a resonating, hey, these leads suck, then it's typically we're processing them off of our systems, right? So we're okay. If they come with a little bit better tone, I guess, then we'll be responsive and try to walk them through and figure out what's broken in their funnel, right? There's got to be something that they're missing because we might have another client in that market. We won't overstack markets, but we'll have 2 in a market or sometimes 3 in a market. And if I've got John over here closing 3 deals per 100 leads and Bob is doing 4, and then, Tom comes in and says, these leads suck. What do we think the issue is? The issue is Tom. So we'll be pretty respectful on it and say, so walk me through when a lead comes in. So everybody knows the whole old adage, it's 8 touches to a sale. What do your touches look like? And honestly, I've heard from other bigger coaching
firms. Let me pause you real quick. What do you mean by 8 touches? Because that's going to shock a lot of people.
Yeah. So back in the olden times, back in, let's say, the 80s, it was 8 touches per sale. So it was 2 phone calls, a mailer, maybe an in-person, but you had to have, it was usually an average of 8 times they saw your stuff, 8 times that they thought about your solution, thought about working with you before they signed on the dotted line. So 8 touches per sale is what a lot of people in the industry, all industries, talk about. I've recently heard it's 20 now, but that 20 includes text messages, display ads, YouTube videos, like all these touches that you can have to get your brand and to get your solution out in front of people. So we'll walk through the client's follow-up system and say, are you making phone calls? How often are you calling? How quick are you calling? And try to figure out where they might have holes in their, in their armor, so to speak. 9 times out of 10, they're handing these leads off to, it's a broker handing the leads off to a junior sales associate or an inside sales team. There's no emphasis put on it. They just say, here's a lead, call it. They'll call it once and then throw it in the trash. When you do that, you're bound for greatness in something other than the industry you're in at that time. So, it all, and I say this every single time we're on this call, it depends, right? It depends on the situation, what they're looking for. It could be that they ask us for leads that they don't know what the heck they're doing with them, or it's a new market, or it's a market they don't work, so they don't know how to respond to it. But usually when we hear that from a client saying, if a client comes to us and says, hey, we're struggling with your leads, then I'm 100% all in on their team. How can we do this? How can we help you? How can, let's talk about your follow-up. If somebody just comes to me and say, hey man, your leads suck. Cool. We'll shut the system down today. We'll get everything cleared, clear out your accounts, and, sorry for the bad luck that you had. And I hope you find someone else that can do this for you properly. And that happens, right? Not everybody's a perfect fit for everybody. So we usually, our response is dictated by the tone of that response, or the tone of their follow-up and saying, hey, we're struggling with this. We are having problems with this. But we usually dig into it. Like, who's doing the follow-up? Who's on that day to day. You know, if they come in and say, well, I've called them a couple times, that's a red flag, right? Well, I sent them an email. Cool. I read my emails all the time too. Like that went into the spam probably, right? You know, if they're saying, hey, we're sending a text and then we're calling, and then we're following up a couple of days after that with a couple of more texts, we're sending them some houses that might be interested in trying to get some feedback. Like that's going to be, once you hit those 20 touches, you're more than likely going to get a response from them. And there's gold in those leads. You just have to work it. So a lot of times we're getting people that are coming to us and saying, hey, I'm struggling with this. We'll work with them on it, figure out what's going on, and then point them in the right direction. Maybe get them introduced to somebody that does follow-up systems, that has a really good drip system and a good cadence on their texting and stuff. We don't work on that. We try to stay away from that. We're purely a lead generation company and purely an internet traffic broker. So we'll advise and point them in the right direction, but we're not going to get in the weeds and write them follow-up text and stuff like that. That's just that would make me go insane. So how I feel about that.
But you did bring up an interesting point pre-call where you said when you're on an onboarding call, can you go through that? Like when you said something's good versus something's going to be a problem?
So we can pretty much tell how good the client's going to be on our first sales call or on, you know, not even an onboarding call. We don't call it a sales call. We call it an informational call, right? So we're going to tell you what we do. We want to know how you work in your system. So if they come in and they say, we ask them right out the gate, have you done lead generation for real estate? Have you done online lead gen and follow up? If they say no, okay, well, what do you have systems in place? Are you ready to do it? If they tell us, oh, we've got this and this in place, we say, perfect. You know, they come in, they want to spend a ton of money. We tell them, let's start out with a couple of leads, see how you work with that. If they come in and say, yeah, we've done it, and they show us their processes and their systems, and they show us they have everything in place, we know they're going to be successful. If they just sort of come with a deer in headlights look, we'll possibly turn them down. We turn down probably 30% of the calls that we have because they're not a good fit. I don't like taking money out of somebody's pocket that can't afford it. So if it comes to it where we're noticing that they really don't know what they're doing, we'll say, hey, you need to go talk to this guy, and this guy. You need to go run a free program with we know somebody that runs sort of a free program that can start trickling in some leads for you so you can get well versed in it. And once you know what you're doing, come and you want to play with the big boys, come with us and we'll run it from there. So usually it's on that initial informational call that we have with them, we can figure out if they know what they're doing or if they're you know kind of just a deer in headlights and could be detrimental for them to spend thousands of dollars and not get anything from it.
Yep. You nailed something that I learned a long time, that it's easier to help winners win more than it is to get losers to win. And you know, it's powerful, but if you've put getting new clients to that framework, it's like, stop working with people that can't win and or don't want to win or don't have the wherewithal, and just stick with people that you want to just accelerate their growth as a customer. So, all right.
I'll follow that up with, as our agency has grown and we've evolved, we've worked with more winners. So as we see this recession we're in right now, summer 2022, we've had a couple of people cancel. We've had more big companies come in and want to work with us because they want to double down and buy leads on the dip, so to speak. So that resonates true on what you're saying. Like there's some people that are just, I got to get out. I'm not making any money. And then there's the big ones that are coming in saying, how much can we spend?